major question as I travel around the country and in various venues and even on the web, the World Wide Web, which is we get information that people ask, who is or was Frank Silvera? Frank Silvera, he was originally from Kingston, Jamaica, born in 1914, and passed an untimely accidental death in Los Angeles in his home, and while working on a kitchen accident. We lost him, and it just devastated the theater and the arts community because he was our leader. He personified the excellence in the arts and the theater. He had come to Los Angeles to work in films like Viva Zapata, starring Marlon Brando. He brought the first James Baldwin play, which is now classic, Eight Man Corner. Originally brought it from Los Angeles, his company, the Frank Silvera Theater being. He brought that to Broadway in 1964. And we said, we need to do something to develop new playwrights, and because there were almost no venues for writers of color to go and to get his or her work read aloud, critiqued, and to put it out there and get some movement. And so it took us a while. I was stage managing River Niger by Joseph Walker on Broadway at that time. And so by 1973, we decided that we would do something, and we booked the theater, which is no longer there now. It's the old, where all those Arthur Miller plays and where Off-Broadway was born in that area down around 34th and Broadway. It was called the Martinique Theater. It's no longer there now. It's gone. But it was a historical area. So at that time, we came in, Joan Sandler of the old Black Theater Alliance, bless her heart, she's still working in the arts and a real supporter, said, go see Hazel Bryant, who is in the Martinique Theater. And we made a deal with Hazel Bryant. You know what I say, if it ain't on the page, it ain't on the stage.
Hello and welcome to the Frank Silvera Writers Workshop's new play reading series. We're thrilled to partner with the Billie Holiday Theater to bring you this series. Right after today's reading, we invite you to participate in a moderated critique session. This is a unique opportunity to share your immediate thoughts and feedback directly with the playwright. And now, without further ado, enjoy the show.
Scene 1, a college dorm room. It has all the personality and organized mess that you would expect from an inherently stressful scholastic environment. There are books, random anthills of clothing tucked in corners, bags of junk food with unknown expiration dates. And yet, it almost looks intentional, like this is how it should look, like to expect anything else would be an insult. Cassie Jonze is on her knees, her palms pressed together, her eyes forced shut, her head turned upwards.
Use this gospel as a message to the wreckage, as a therapeutic cure to my broken second chances, as a sacrificial lamb for all the times I said God damn instead of dang, for all the times I slept through the service instead of taking the stage. Take this bloody wine and pour it out on the graves of those who deserved it as repayment for those who did not. As a matter of fact, take mine like a crackhead staring at a stack of flashed casts, or a whack kid scared of stepping on the sidewalk crack because he cares about his mama's back. For every time I ass-lacked, for every time I lacked, for every day I refused to be intact. For every question I asked, for every mistake I can't retake from my past, for every smile that was actually an act, call me a hack and force me to pack and trade places if that's how the stasis reaches its final places. Then again, I find this to be fake, me trying to speak to you when you hardly shake, as you erase the faces of innocent cases, giving permanent vacations to those of certain races, but you keep alive so many whose lives are wasted and take away the ones who have hardly had a chance to taste it. You spare those who cheat on their wives on a daily basis, but take the breath out of underage cancer patients. Guess I'm the one that has to face it. That I have the beating heart, but part of me will never be complacent. Sure, I've got the life, but what good is it that when you feel like you're stuck suffocating in the basement?
August Kennedy enters, a bag hanging off her shoulder, glitter and makeup creating an abstract painting across her body. Cassie's eyes shoot open, and they look at each other.
Oh.
Hi.
Hi.
Is that all you have to say?
No. Yeah, sorry, I don't know.
The right thing.
Yeah,
Who does?
that's true. If I was interrupting something, I can leave you alone, give you space.
You did all night, didn't you?
What?
Give me space. That's something that you did all last night until just now when you walked through the door, right?
I mean, did you sleep last night?
You don't look like you did.
That wasn't the question.
You look good.
Thanks.
Good and drunk.
I went to a party.
And stayed the night.
It was a good party.
No, it wasn't.
I had a great time.
Dude, your breath must really stink for all the bullshit that comes out of it.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I must really be making you miserable.
No.
No, you hate parties. You hate getting made up.
So people change.
You never stay the night at places that you don't know.
Would you like to tell me my social security number next? My blood pressure, resting heart rate, when my next period is gonna strike? I mean, shit, if you know me, if you know so much about me, maybe you can just educate me a little more about myself. What, since you're the expert? I think I reserve the right to spend my senior year shaking my ass with some strangers if I choose to. And if I want to sleep over too, more power to me. I don't need your opinion or your approval.
Silence.
Cool.
Shit.
No, I get it. I got it.
Was that harsh?
Forget about it.
It was harsh.
I really don't care.
I do. I'm just
Tired? Is that what you are? Tired?
okay. Well, now you don't have to get harsh.
No, no, please tell me how tired you are. Pour your heart out to me.
I see what you're doing.
Oh, so now you get it now, too.
You know that's not what I meant.
Or, maybe you should go back to your super great, super fun party where you don't have to deal with me.
I never said I had to deal with you.
Why would I hold you back from enjoying yourself? You walk in here looking like you just climbed out of Ronald McDonald's asshole, and I would never intrude in on that kind of action.
Let's talk.
Now you want to be compassionate? Nah.
Cassie throws on a hoodie.
You need to go to sleep.
I'm getting some fresh air.
You need to sleep. You need to eat.
You need to move out of my way.
Cassie continues to try walking out, and August continues standing in her way.
At least take a shower.
Do you know what you smell like right now?
I'm not letting you leave.
What are you going to do about it?
Stay here.
I'm going to give you 10 seconds. 10.
I'm asking as a friend.
5.
Let me at least try to be helpful.
0.
Cassie tries to break through again. August stands her ground, restraining Cassie by putting her arms around her, almost like an aggressive, defensive hug.
I'll let go when you calm down.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
Cassie breaks away, nearly tripping to the other side of the room. August drops her bag.
Are you good now?
You said you could give me space, and I think I'll take you up on that offer.
I'll just take a shower and...
Now. I'd like that space now.
I hear that, but this is my room too.
Okay, I try to go out and so you can have the space and I can have mine, but you don't want that. I ask you to give me the space so you can find yours somewhere else, and you don't want that either. I'm confused as to what the hell that you want me to do.
Okay, fine. Can I at least use the bathroom?
Yeah.
August disappears into the bathroom. She continues talking from there. Cassie's eyes drift to the bag.
Have you considered meditation? Huh?
I don't need medication.
I said meditation. Hello?
Cassie walks over to August's bag and opens it. She takes out some makeup, keys, then out comes a book, Romeo and Juliet by William Shakespeare. She looks at it, holding it in her hand, unable to break contact with it.
What?
We hear a toilet flush and August re-enters the room.
Did you hear me? I said meditation.
What is this?
Let me explain.
No, I plan on it in a second. You told me that you were going to return this.
I got busy.
Do better than that.
I got busy. I have a lot on my plate this semester.
You told me that you were dropping out of the show.
Cassie,
You told me that there was no other option.
Okay, so what happened?
You told me that you would do it for her.
I just wanted to...
What?
I shouldn't have to put my own life to the side just because someone lost theirs.
Oh, is that it?
It's not fair to me.
Fuck you.
I know your mind is finding a way to take that personally.
You know, that is the smartest thing that you have said all morning.
But it's not. It's really not. It's not about you. It's not about anybody. It's not a personal attack, and it's not a sick joke. It's about me.
That doesn't sound conceited at all.
It actually doesn't. I worked for this. I deserve this. Since my freshman year, I've been patiently yet anxiously waiting for my chance to show what I can do. And year after year, semester after semester, that chance was snatched right out from underneath my fingertips and thrown in my face. Again and again. So much so that I get used to disappointment, that I begin to anticipate it, damn near enjoy it. It didn't stop me from trying, but now I'm here and I'm at the final hour. I have been given what I've worked for. I can't drop that. I thought about it, believe me, I did, but I can't drop it.
August snatches the play.
What is the big deal? You told me that it didn't matter to you because once again, you didn't get the part that you wanted. You didn't get any part of value. That is what you said. That's why you were okay with not doing it at all. And that's why you had no problem using it as protest.
Dropping out of a play isn't protest. It's childish. Like I said, people change. Sometimes things change too.
Okay, so what did? What changed? No way. Bullshit.
I really don't have the time for a back and forth with you.
You gullible little bitch.
I'll let that one slide.
You did go to drop out, didn't you?
We're playing Sherlock now?
You went to go drop out and then they gave you what you wanted. So who is it? Who's your name beside on the cast list now?
Juliet.
Bingo.
It wasn't my choice.
Checkmate.
I didn't ask for it.
Yahtzee, motherfucker.
Elizabeth offered to step back for me to have it. She said it would only be right due to my emotional distress.
Your emotional distress.
I'm just telling you what she said.
No, now tell me what emotional distress that you have been struggling with.
We've all been struggling. You're not the only one allowed to
Grieve?
feel things.
All they had to do was offer you a slice for you to take their side.
There are no sides, and I'm not the one you need to be angry at. I didn't do anything wrong. I didn't hurt anyone. It's a stupid play.
If it was just a stupid play, you wouldn't be so hell-bent on being a part of it.
I don't know what you want me to say, Cass. I really don't. Like, if I did, I would be saying it right now. I would find a way to make it all okay, to make the entire fucking world safe and sound and balanced and sweet. I would do that for you, but I can't, and so I won't. I'm not doing this out of spite. I'm doing it because I go home every Christmas, every Thanksgiving, every summer, and every spring, and I have to listen to my parents ask me, why are you still a theater major if you're never a major part of anything they do? Hell, it would make more sense if you just minored in it because everything you do is over in the snap of a second, and you can't get much more minor than that. Make that make sense to us. And you know what? They're absolutely right.
This is an excuse.
No, it's a reason. And there's a difference. I'm not the monster under your bed. This show was my last chance to do something to prove that I'm not wasting my time, and I got that opportunity. It's small and it may mean nothing in a year, but right now I need this. They've broken my back to send me here. They've paid money they don't have. This isn't the minor leagues anymore. This is major and it's mine.
It was giving out of charity.
I don't care.
Pity. Bullshit. Guilt.
I don't care. I need this to make my parents proud because I haven't had the chance for 4 fucking years.
You know, I'm glad that you still have the time and chance to make your parents proud. My sister is dead, August. My twin sister is dead.
I didn't kill her.
No. But you're eating out of the hands of the people who did.
They didn't either.
But their response has been, well, what response? No, it's been silence. I mean, listen. You hear that? Nothing, not a goddamn thing, but you get to be Juliet. You get what you want. You get your applause and your flowers from mommy and daddy. Congratulations.
She takes off her hoodie and throws it at August's feet.
It doesn't have to be like this.
I'm gone.
August picks up the hoodie.
And put this on, it's cold.
I don't care about anything anymore. Maybe you didn't kill her, and maybe it wasn't the department, but someone did. And for what reason? Can you tell me that? August, for what reason? I'll wait for you to come up with a solid excuse or reason or whatever you want to call it.
I know there wasn't a reason.
She was so proud of herself. The first female Mercutio that this campus had ever seen. She was just trying to rehearse. Rehearse a scene from a show that you hold in your hands. A fight scene, sure. And should she have been somewhere inside instead of outside the building? Sure. But was that any reason for someone to call campus police to come out? Was that any reason for campus PD to come out with guns already drawn? And lastly, was that any reason for them to unload them in her face until she looked like a fucking Jackson Pollock painting? You know, I'm glad that you get your standing ovation, though. Say your lines, perform your performance, take your bows, get your pats on the back, and go fuck yourself until you have half a brain. Until then, don't tell me how my world should spin or what decisions I should or shouldn't make, because your mouth has no right to move, and your words have no right to release. And me, if it's cold, I want to freeze. If it's hot, I want to burn. And if melting was an option, let me disintegrate into the ground. Let me disappear. What do I have left?
You have people who care about you.
Family?
You have friends.
Oh, who pick a play over a life?
That's a little dramatic.
That's a little ironic.
What happened wasn't my fault. I just want to live the life I'm lucky enough to have and take advantage of the chance I got, whether it's right or wrong, whether I regret it later on or not.
Well, you know what they say. The show must go on.
Cassie exits, leaving August in the room, holding the play and the hoodie alone in the silence. Scene 2. Jordan St. James sits younger than he looks, just as anxious as he seems. His unironed shirt and tie matches personality that is overoccupied with imposter syndrome. He mocks playing drums on the large paper-filled binder resting on his lap, which itself sits on top of a bright, high-visibility safety vest. Cassie enters. Jordan jumps to his feet.
What are you doing here?
Your roommate let me in.
And where is she?
She left, but she said that I could wait here.
I think that this was against some code in the rule book.
It is unorthodox.
You call it unorthodox, I call it weird as shit.
I'm here strictly for educational purposes.
I would like it if you weren't here at all.
He presents the binder.
All of your work you've missed.
What?
From my course. I can't do anything about the others, but I wanted to bring these to you so that I'm not forced to fail you. Have a good rest of your day.
He starts off.
Okay, you can't just say some shit like that and then walk off like it didn't mean anything.
It won't if you do the work. I'm giving you a chance.
What happened to all of that talk, all of that take as much time as you need stuff?
It's been little over a month. That time has run out.
So everything is just supposed to get better and I'm supposed to be excited to focus on work I missed in an astronomy class that I only took for the credit because time has run out. And now you're in my room, which is still completely inappropriate to do me what, a favor?
I don't do favors.
Then what do you call this?
A chance.
Oh, a chance. Silly me. A chance. I get a chance. Aren't I the luckiest? A whole chance just for me. It's like Christmas morning. Oh, I'm honored. But a question for you, if you don't mind.
I don't.
If I throw this entire thing in the trash and complete exactly 0 assignments that I've missed, what's going to happen?
Is that a trick question?
No. So answer it.
You would fail. You wouldn't graduate. You'd have to retake your semester course load in the summer. It wouldn't be the end of the world.
There would be consequences.
Of course.
Because that's life. Action and reaction, cause and effect, mess up and consequence.
Sure.
For me.
For anyone.
And that's what I find so hilarious about this. See, I don't do what I'm here to do and I fail. I get punished. My life and my future gets put on the line, but someone employed by the school commits murder, and the only punishment that he receives is a paid suspension that will be over in a couple of weeks.
I don't know anything about that.
Because you're not involved in any of the important conversations.
I was raised to mind my business.
Look at yourself in the mirror. How is this not your business?
What do you want from this life, Cassie? What are your dreams? What is it that you want to be? What is it that you've always wanted to be?
Did you always want to be an adjunct?
That is not what I asked.
It's what I asked, and you're in my room. So my question holds just as much, if not more, weight than yours.
I grew up wanting to be an electrician.
So worse than an adjunct?
You want what you see. My father was an electrician, and he provided for our family with an electrician's salary. He gave us a decent life with it. You see someone work so hard and still come home so joyful. You want that too. And I did.
And now you're a glorified substitute teacher.
I have a position.
Adjuncts are like security guards or mall cops. Okay, sure, you have the job, but you're not equipped to bust the drug game. Your speed is catching the 12-year-old stealing from Build-A-Bear Workshop.
I know what you're trying to do, and it isn't going to work.
What am I trying to do? Educate me, teach.
You're trying to antagonize me with your, I want you to leave, so I'm going to be rude act.
It's not an act. I really want you to leave.
Then I'll leave. I apologize if I made you uncomfortable in any way. I was only trying to help.
He turns to leave.
Why did you do it?
What?
You could have given all of this to someone to come to bring it to me.
I wanted to check on you.
Why?
Not to play 21 questions, I can tell you that. You're a great student, and I was worried about you. I have been. I thought that by now you would have at least tried to return to class, but you haven't. I thought it'd be best checking on you myself to see if you were all right, in good shape. But that may have been a lapse of judgment.
He hands her the vest.
What is this?
Your reparations.
Excuse me?
The theater department.
I've never been a part of the theater department. That was always my sister's thing.
This is the solution that the theater department decided on after your sister's death.
Her murder.
Right.
I don't get it.
Yeah. Join the club.
Why a vest?
You'd have to ask someone from the department. I'm just a messenger. I heard about it, and I thought that you should know. The vest is to be worn whenever a student is rehearsing. That way they will not be perceived as a threat. This was the best that they could come up with.
It's performative ignorance.
I don't disagree.
A vest? They could have done something. Anything, but they didn't, and they couldn't. I mean, they refused to. I don't buy that they put their heads together and decided that the best idea to keep people safe would be force them to wear this. They couldn't even give an inch.
I'll leave you alone.
I don't know what I want to be anymore.
You have time.
I don't know who I am anymore.
You have time to figure that out too.
Do I? I mean, do you really believe that, or is that some sappy cliche teacher bullshit that you picked up from a movie?
I mean it. Life
ends. And it has nothing to do with you.
I don't know what to say to you.
Get in line.
I'd like to be someone that you can come to.
Say something real.
I want to do something good for once in my life because I don't like myself very much and I don't know what I'm doing. How's that for saying something real?
It's something that you should really talk about in therapy.
I'm gonna wake up and I'm gonna be 40 at some point, and I'll have to reckon with the fact that no one is going to remember me. Do you ever think about that?
No. I think about it in terms of my sister, though. Cameron? I have a hard time saying her name, but that's the thing. Like, I'm afraid that my hurt is temporary. Like, I have never wanted to live in my pain so badly. And if I'm not in pain, that either means that I'm forgetting her or I'm enjoying the life that she wasn't allowed to have. And that's just selfish. Like, when I think about her, I feel closer to heaven. Like, I could feel her breath on my face, and she laughs at a joke that only it's so stupid that only she's the one who can make it. I mean, what if that laugh fades? And what if I'm okay with it? What if I don't even notice?
You're asking the common questions of grief.
Thanks, Doc. You know just how to prescribe the right dose of bullshit.
I think about my wife the same way to this day, and it's been 3 years.
She died?
She moved to Michigan.
What's the difference?
I wasted years of both of our lives, all because I'm a liar. I told her I loved her for years when I knew I didn't. It's easier to just lie sometimes to ourselves, to others, and that's what I did. I told her I loved her, and I told her I do, standing at an altar that should have caught fire with the way that I was being dishonest. I let us live that lie. I let her believe we were happy. I let her believe that I was happy. And then I met someone who I did fall in love with. And I wasted no time in taking my wife's heart and turning it into a broken plate of glass shards dishwashed by her tears. Now I grieve the lies because they were comfortable. And now I have no one. And that is selfish. You aren't, though. If it's real, it's never going to leave you. You'll make friends with the pain. You'll dance with it, and you'll carry it with you constantly like it was your firstborn. I shouldn't be here. You're right. It's inappropriate.
Why did you tell me that?
The least that you can do is look at the assignments, even if you don't do them. Think about it, maybe. I say I hope to see you in class, but I know that may be asking too much from you right now. Have a good rest of your day. And hey, if you never figure out what it is that you really want, you could always become an adjunct.
He exits. Scene 3. Later that day, a dining hall. Nash Gomez and August sit, breathing in the smell of food, not fully impressed.
You could have auditioned.
Why the hell would I want to audition for some tired-ass Romeo and Juliet?
It's a good show.
It's tired. They need to hang it up, put it on the shelf, leave it alone. This school has done that show 10 times in 10 years. It's legitimately crazy. And every year, what do? They promise that they're going to take a new look at it and put a modern light. But every year, they do the same thing and use the same costumes. And the thing is, there's ways to make it better.
And you know these ways.
Sure, I do.
You can improve on Shakespeare.
It ain't about improving on it. It's about updating it. Taking what's there and adding some flavor to it. Right now, the show is chicken with no seasonings. With my touch, bam, Popeyes. Just follow me. Are you following?
I'm following.
Gang violence.
I was following and now I'm lost.
That's what the whole show is really about anyways, right? You got two sides that have been staying beefing for years, for centuries. It's an actual turf war. Their solutions never to sit down and talk about it. Nah, son. They choose violence every single time. You run up on them, they'll pull out their swords and do a drive-by or something. Say I'm wrong. You call it Capulet Montagues, I call it Crips and Bloods.
You think you're a genius, and that's all that matters.
You know I got a point.
We do need a new Mercutio.
Silence.
Damn,
I didn't even realize it when I said it.
they still haven't found someone to do it?
No one wants to replace the dead girl.
Calm down.
I've been doing that a lot lately. Not thinking and saying things that come out the wrong way. That's what it is. It's wrong.
You think that's wrong? But you being in this show...
I don't want to hear about it anymore.
All right.
You think I'm wrong. Everyone thinks I'm wrong.
Everyone?
A certain group of people think I'm wrong.
You want my opinion? It's your life. Do whatever you want with it.
You mean that?
Girl, I got 99 problems and you damn sure ain't one of them.
I just want to feel like I'm part of something for once, you know?
I don't need you to explain it.
When I try to explain it to anyone else, they block me out or cut me off or wait for me to finish just to scold me. We are the phantoms of this department, of this whole school when you think about it. We float through campus hoping someone has the ability to see us, to notice us, to give us a fair shot. You bring politics into anything and it'll get messy. But if you look at it for what it is, then it is what it is.
You didn't sway me either way. Like I said, I got bigger fish frying.
You're still on the hunt.
I came to college with a lot of goals. Grow up, meet new people, graduate with honors, get my degree, secure the bag at a big, good job. But those were all secondary to the big goal, to find my parents. The clock to graduation is ticking and talking down quick. I don't have a lot of time to get it done.
Maybe 4 years wasn't realistic.
4 years is beyond realistic. They shouldn't be this hard to track down.
Have you thought, I know this isn't what you want to hear right now or ever, but have you thought that this isn't in the plans? You were adopted into a good family. They raised you right and gave you a decent life. Like, maybe all things happen for a reason and you're not supposed to find them.
If we're using that logic, wouldn't that mean that Cameron getting shot in the face was destiny? That's the only reason you got the lead role locked in. I mean, if we're using your logic.
Sounds like you've taken a side.
Nah, still no sides taken. Just telling you how stupid that mindset is.
I thought it might make you feel better.
I don't need you to make me feel better. I want to find my parents. That's what I said I was going to do, and that's what's going to get done. I don't need support or sympathy about it.
Heard and received.
Good.
A beat as they eat.
Would you ever date a white guy?
Oh, so you're smoking crack now too?
It's a serious question. Would you ever date a white guy?
I wouldn't date a guy if he was purple.
Let's say hypothetically.
I'd rather not.
I think they're cute. Some of them.
You would.
What's that supposed to mean?
You smell like the kind of girl who would be impressed by a man named Levy.
He does sound kind of cute.
Go and find him then. He's the one with the black and red pickup truck. Oh, wait. That's literally every single one of them.
That reminds me of the story about the state fair.
I don't want to hear it.
I don't get you sometimes.
Tell me about it.
You were raised by white parents. You are the product of a white household. By definition, you are kind of technically a white kid.
You must be smoking crack and meth.
It's the truth.
It's half truth. My parents are white, sure, but I'm not. The moment I walk out the door to go to school, nobody saw me as a white kid. Nobody treated me like I was white. Nobody gave me a pass because of who I lived with. If anything, it made it worse. I was always stuck in the middle. Can't hang out with the white kids because I'm not one of them, and can't hang out with the black kids because they don't get why my mama looks like the thrift store Anne Hathaway.
What's it like being raised like that? I don't think I've ever asked.
What do you want me to say? It was normal. I had to find someone who could do my hair, but other than that, normal.
Your mom didn't learn how to do your hair?
Hell no. You think either of them could have figured out what to do with my head? I wouldn't even let them close to trying it. They'd mess around and have me walking around looking like Steve Harvey.
Solid point.
It doesn't bother me anymore.
What?
The whole adoption thing, not anymore.
I didn't mean to make a thing out of it.
Just because I talk about something I want to talk about doesn't mean it has anything to do with something you brought up. Sometimes I just have feelings I want to express to somebody.
Oh, that's okay.
Don't want to be blamed. Yeah, I know.
Right.
Like I was saying, it used to bother me. How couldn't it? You try being a chocolate chip in a family of sugar cookies, it messes with you. It like confuses you and all that, sends you into a whole identity crisis, asking all that kind of wild questions at a young age. And my parents, I mean, what are they supposed to do? How are they supposed to explain it? They can't, really. They can just say things like, it's okay to be different, which doesn't mean squat when everyone else in your life tells you that how bad it is to be different, how bad it is to be you.
Yeah, I know how it feels.
Girl, eat your food.
What?
You do not know how it feels.
I didn't mean.
You were not raised by sugar cookies. Now, maybe your folks aren't as crisp as chocolate chip, but there's some solid oatmeal raisins.
I didn't mean your exact situation. I felt different in my life too. I know that feeling.
I still don't think you do.
I'm a theater kid. You can't get much more different than that.
I'm so close to slapping the taste out of your mouth, and I mean that as a friend.
There's such a thing as being Black and still not being Black enough for the Black kids, especially the girls. Oh yeah, they were vicious. Oh, she's too preppy. Who does she think she is? Look at Miss Bougie. I know it's not the same, not even close, but I know, kind of.
You know who the worst kind of people are?
Those who use Twitter.
You know who the second worst kind of people are?
No,
People who always have to have their own story follow someone else's, who feel the need to belong even when it has nothing to do with them.
I was only trying to connect with you, let you know that you're not alone.
But I am. So are you.
I am not.
You want me to believe you're not the same preppy girl who thinks too much about what others think of her?
I want you to believe I'm a good person.
We all ask ourselves that question. None of us have the answer. But at least there's food. The one thing that makes sense when everything else doesn't.
They continue eating, their chews becoming the only sound in the room. Scene 4. Back in the dorm room where Cassie holds the safety vest in her hand. August enters, wearing a vest of her own.
I didn't think you'd be here.
Am I supposed to sleep on a bench?
I haven't seen you around.
That's what happens when someone avoids you.
You don't have to avoid me.
It's a choice.
I lost my virginity on a Ferris wheel.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Kind of, not really, but not technically. But I had never done anything, and this was something, so I counted.
My question still stands.
We used to tell each other crazy stories. We used to stay up all night telling each other things we never told anyone. The RAs would knock on the door and tell us to quiet down because we were laughing so hard. I thought, if we could do that again, I don't know. I thought we could try. I've never even told that story to you. I've been saving it for the right moment. This isn't the right moment, but I don't know if there's ever going to be a better one. Can I tell you?
You already started.
It was with a guy named Brock.
Brock
Lambert.
Like rock with a B.
He was cute. We went to the fair and there was like a Ferris wheel, and I hated heights, but he promised he'd make it worth my while. So I was young enough to be stupid enough to go along with it, but I wanted him to like me. I wanted him to think I was worth liking. So we get to the top and they have this moment where it stops so that people can admire the view. The town I'm from, if you're high enough, you can see everything. Every house, every building, everything. That's what I was doing. Enjoying the view and trying not to look down, feeling close to the sky for the first time ever. Then I feel his hand on my leg and I look over at him and he tells me that he wants me and that he likes me. That's all I needed to hear to put me in a trance, you know? And then a deep enough trance to where I didn't feel his hand moving further up my leg. And next thing I know, his entire hand is in my jeans and I snap back to reality and the Ferris wheel starts moving again. And then I projectile vomit right into his face.
You expect me to laugh at that?
I thought it was funny, kind of. The vomit part,
Hilarious.
maybe not.
Whatever happened to Brock Lambert?
You think I know that?
I know you do.
Assuming much?
Am I wrong?
As a matter of fact, yes.
Mm.
No.
Uh-huh.
He's at UCLA.
West Coast.
Yep.
Good school.
Great one.
A great life.
He looks happy.
I bet.
He has this girlfriend. She looks like a model.
Oh, good for Brocky Balboa.
I think she might be a model.
Round of applause.
They go to the beach a lot.
You know, California knows how to party.
They have a picture on a Ferris wheel. I think that's funny. Maybe it's not.
You can admit that it pisses you off.
I'm not petty.
I didn't say that you were.
I don't care about an ex.
The only people who scroll through their ex's profile are those that care about them.
Except I don't. We're both older. We both moved on.
Have you?
Of course.
You've moved on, but still tell the story.
I was trying to make you laugh.
Your definition of comedy is concerning.
I don't care.
Do you think he tells the story?
What?
Just what I said. Do you think that he tells the story about the Ferris wheel? Do you think? Be honest. Do you think that he spends his time in sunny California recalling that night to his new model chick? Do you think he even remembers you?
I'm sure he remembers me.
Or do you just hope that he does?
I told you, I don't.
Okay, care. Right, I heard you. And it's a fucking shame, though, really, when you think about it.
What now?
He can do whatever he wants, and the plates of his world don't shift. Not a bit, not an inch. He gets into a good school. He gets a hot girlfriend. He wakes up with a smile on his face. Drinks beers with his boys on the weekends, probably drives drunk. Gets good grades, and he'll graduate with honors. His teeth so pearly they might blind you. He'll get a good job doing whatever, and he'll buy a house before he's 30. His kids will be Little League superstars at your 10-year high school reunion. He'll still be the big man on campus, not looking a day over his yearbook picture. He'll be happy, and you'll be you.
Okay. I'll be me.
In denial.
I'm not in denial.
Do you want to be friends again? You want to laugh again?
Yes.
You can do one thing, and then we can go back to what we used to be.
You mean that?
I'm a woman of my word.
Then yes. Anything. What do you want me to do?
Admit it.
Admit
That it's freshly fried bullshit.
what?
Big man Brock. What he gets, and the rest of us, what we get, what we're served?
I can't explain that.
No, but you can agree that whoever pulls the puppet strings of this world would rather stand over us and slit our throats than see us smiling for more than an hour. You know, happiness is too expensive and we can't afford it.
And that's life.
For who?
I don't disagree with you.
But you also can't just say it.
I just did.
You don't want to fight against what you wish that you were. What a pretty disaster that we all are. What a beautiful burning building. What a lovely mess. I mean, look at you. Look at what you have on. You look like a curvy traffic cone.
I don't think the vest is the worst idea.
It's certainly not the best.
It's to keep us safe.
Do you feel safe?
It's better than nothing.
It is literally nothing. The school, they had 4 options. Say something, do something, say nothing, do nothing. And they chose the last 2, a shocking twist. I don't blame you.
That's good to hear.
I blame everyone. It's easy to point at the administration and the faculty and say what they could have or should have done. Cool, we know. And it's simple to look at the student body, the white kids, the majority, and say that they should stand beside us. But then, I mean, you got to look inwards. They can't stand beside us if we're not standing up either. I mean, it's been silence on every side, business as usual for everyone, them and us. There's guilt and then there's responsibility.
Cassie starts to leave. In a desperate move,
All my kings, queens, and in-betweens, are you ready for the show of the century?
What are you doing?
August breaks out into an all-out step routine. Cassie watches in a strange, confused, admiring, entertained horror. At the end of the routine, August ends in a pose, her hands pointed towards Cassie.
Your move.
Lights down. Scene 5. Jordan's office. He packs up a backpack and zips it up as Cassie enters.
I didn't expect to see you.
I know that your office hours are about to end.
No. Well, yes, but it's fine. It's fine. Have you been taking care of yourself?
I've been doing what I can.
Have you eaten?
Yeah.
A real meal?
Yeah.
Shower?
I don't think that you're allowed to ask me that.
You're probably right. I'm sorry. I didn't mean it to come off like that.
You are scared shitless of getting in trouble.
Is this what you came here for?
No. Everyone's a bit of an asshole nowadays.
Do you plan on returning to class?
One step at a time. I've finished some of the assignments.
Good.
They've been decent distractions.
I'm glad you're trying.
Yeah, that's all that we can do.
So, what can I do for you?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
I should let you leave.
It's fine.
No, you've probably had a long day.
I can stay.
I know that you want to go home and relax.
It's not like anyone is there waiting.
Right.
If you want to sit in silence, we can sit in silence.
And that's what they do.
Favorite kind of music?
What?
I don't know. The quiet was just freaking me out.
Oh,
No, don't worry about it.
I like jazz.
Neat.
You?
Not jazz.
Oh,
I haven't listened to it much.
it's an acquired taste.
Like collard greens.
Sure.
Talk about a smell from hell.
Still pretty good, though.
Definitely. Okay, can I ask you for some advice?
Yes, please. What is it?
How do I stop my mind from forming violent thoughts?
I can already tell you that I may not be the right person to have this conversation with.
Why not?
There are counselors that...
Okay, I'm not talking crazy.
Well...
I'm not talking too crazy.
I just think it'd be best in my professional opinion.
Okay, I've spoken to counselors, every kind of counselor, grief counselor, guidance counselor, academic counselor, career counselor, every single one, all of this year. I am not asking you to prescribe me anything, and I don't want you to tell me what to do with my life. It is just a conversation. You know how to have one of those, don't you?
If it's only a conversation.
That's all.
And I guess there's nothing wrong with that.
And you have to agree to confidentiality. Okay? You can't run off and get me in deeper crap than I'm already in.
If you say something that's concerning, I'm required to report it. If it's for your safety and it's for the safety of those around you.
I'm trying to talk to someone. I'm trying to talk to you. Clearly, you don't do everything by the book, so don't start now. I promise I am not going to hurt myself and I'm not going to hurt anyone else. I am not a danger. I am not a threat. I'm just lost.
Don't make me regret this.
I'll try my best. I won't, okay?
Okay.
Okay, I don't want to hurt anyone. I don't want to, and I won't. Still, I sometimes want to see like this whole place burn down. I have these moments where I think that if I walked onto campus and it was nothing but flames, I wouldn't care. I wouldn't feel anything. I definitely wouldn't cry, and I would just watch it turn to ash. That probably sounds concerning.
You're understandably angry.
Oh, I'd rather feel angry than what I feel now.
Which is?
Nothing.
Why are you here, Cassie?
In your office?
In school.
No offense, but that is kind of a stupid question.
You give me a stupid answer.
I have to be?
Says who?
Says, what do you mean?
Look, you don't even know what you want to be.
I think that's common at my age.
Possibly, but then what harm could come from walking away?
You think I should drop out?
I think that you should take a break.
When I'm at the finish line.
The finish line means nothing if you only come close to crossing it.
Is there something that you were trying to say to me?
We're having a conversation.
Yeah, but I feel like you're trying to slide something slick across, but you're not laying it all out on the table because you're desperately gripping onto whatever professor ethics you think you have to keep your job.
I am merely engaging you in discourse.
You are making implications.
And that's an assumption.
You're saying that I'm going to fail anyway, so why stick around?
I don't see the benefit of you being here right now.
I have time to catch up.
In my class?
Yeah.
And your others?
I can figure it out.
When?
What's stopping you from becoming a full-time tenure track professor?
Now it's on me.
No, this is the table and this is me turning it.
Deflecting isn't going to solve your problems.
Walking out on your wife wasn't going to solve your problems, but here we are.
I don't have a master's, that's why.
Get one.
That's not something I can bet on at the moment.
You're trying to tell me to drop out of school and you won't even start?
I can't afford it.
Well, that's valid.
I don't have enough of a safety blanket to go into the negatives.
Does that mean you're going to keep teaching here?
Negative.
No?
At the end of the semester, my resignation letter will be signed, sealed, and delivered.
Why?
Because it'd be unprofessional of me to talk to you about this.
Don't be like that.
There are lines that I'm willing to cross, and there are places that I still feel are out of bounds.
Okay, what is the big deal if you're going to end up out of here anyway?
I'd like to leave here on good terms.
Why? What is the benefit of leaving on good terms for a school that probably doesn't give two shits about you?
That's the point. Right there, you hit the hammer on the nail. Of course, you do. Your feelings, your experiences as a student are no different as mine as a faculty member. My first day here, I walked into my room. The door was unlocked. I started logging on into the computer, making sure everything works so that on the first day of school, I can look like I know what I'm doing, even if I don't. Another professor comes into the room and asks me what I'm doing here. He accuses me of breaking in and trying to mess with classroom technology. I show him my faculty ID, but that's not enough. I tried to leave, but he won't let me do that either. No, he makes me sit down and wait as he calls the head of the department to verify that I say who I say I am. Do you think that he apologized? It would have been a nice gesture, even just an acknowledgement of wrongdoing. But that's not what happens, because that's not ever what happens. He just walked out and told me to be more careful. In that moment, I felt like I had done something wrong. I let myself believe that I had done something wrong and that he was right to suspect that I had an issue that needed to be dealing with. My life isn't exactly sunshine and roses as is. I don't need that on top of everything else.
I guess we're all on the same boat after all.
And it's sinking.
I can't drop out. I can't give up.
I know. That's good. And you're going to have to make up a lot of lost time.
I will.
I understand your push. And if you were to fail, your parents would be disappointed.
That's bold of you to assume.
What?
That I got a family?
Don't we all?
If you think about it, technically, like, yeah, I guess we do. I mean, if you're asking if I was born out of thin air in like some biblical type miracle, the answer is no. I got a mother and I got a father.
But
I ain't got a father and I ain't got a mother. They died.
oh, we don't have to talk about it if you don't want to.
I don't want to. But I know now more than ever that what you want doesn't matter. I wasn't there. My sister wasn't either. No one was there but them. Our parent. I guess making sure we weren't there was their last loving act. My father loaded 2 bullets into a pistol and he shot my mother in the head and then he shot himself. I found out later that she'd had a miscarriage and I don't know the reason, really. I think they were both sad people who were just tired of being sad people.
Too sad to keep on living.
Too sad to keep on parenting. To be there for the 2 small girls who needed them to live. So I've got nobody now. I've got no one.
I'm sure they cared about you.
Oh, I know they did. Like, I don't blame them. I do, but I don't. Like, things are like that are complicated and you don't know whether to point the finger at them or the world or both. I'd like to believe that they cared, though. I'd like to believe that they're somewhere caring right now. Who else does, though? There's no sympathy for a Black girl, no tears shed, no one mourns them.
You really think that's true?
I sure do. Black man gets shot, the whole world turns upside down. My sister gets killed, and what do we get? Not even a memorial. Everyone here either has a whole lot to learn or a whole lot to teach, but no one's getting a goddamn thing done at the end of the day. It is a waste of space. And I know so many girls who are still alive who have had pieces of them forced away, torn out from inside for their pure dignity. No tear shed.
Do you ever think that you're exactly who they want you to be?
I don't know what you mean.
I'd like to think that I'm understanding, but sometimes I feel this rage, and not necessarily the kind of rage that makes you want to watch things burn, a different kind, but one that's just as hard to bear, one that makes sleeping at night a little harder. And it's this question that replays in my head like a scratched record, harsh and definite. And it asks, why am I here? And who am I here for? And will I mean anything to anyone once I'm gone? Will anyone even notice? Will change, or is the idea of change, or am I a fool for even thinking twice about it? People who look like you probably take up, 11% of the student body, and we can say 12 for the sake of generosity. And you think, think that'd be enough incentive to carry yourself a certain way. But I walk down the halls and I see these guys who are just acting like idiots. They're messing with other students, making noise, slapping walls, jumping around. They're having the time of their lives. And honestly, good for them. This is the time to do it. But then the thought hits me that they're behaving exactly like the rest of the 88% of the student body expects them to react. Like, they don't belong here. Like, their disturbance is something to be avoided, or worse, something to not be taken seriously. I came here wanting to do something good. For the sake of transparency, I think that I may have failed.
My sister would have liked you.
That's nice.
She liked smart people who didn't build their entire personality around being smart.
I don't know how smart I am.
You're smart enough to know when it's time to get off the boat.
I'm running away.
To freedom?
You never know until you're on the other side, do you?
I feel like I should thank you for being decent. I mean, like a young adjunct and the grieving girl, this could have turned into a scary Lifetime movie really fast. What I mean is, it would have been easy to try and take advantage of this, of me. And that doesn't mean I would have let you, because trust and believe, I will cut you. But it would have been easy to try.
I'd be lying if I said that I didn't need to hear that.
I should try and go catch some of my other instructors.
Absolutely.
Start stacking up with that makeup work.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
They're both standing at this point. Jordan extends his hand. Cassie hesitates, then reaches out and shakes it.
The semester isn't over yet. I can still bother you.
The door is always open, except when it's not.
Noted. What happened to her?
Who?
I know it's none of my business.
What is it that you want to know?
You said you left your wife because you found someone you fell in love with, for real?
Yes.
No.
You want to know
what happened to her?
She wanted more than decent.
Cassie doesn't know what to say. She nods, then exits. Scene 6, the dorm room. Nash waits around. Cassie enters.
Oh, damn.
So this is just an open door policy here nowadays, isn't it?
I'm not here to mess with you.
Okay.
August asked me.
Of course she did.
She asked me to rehearse with her. Front lines.
And you said yes.
I mean,
how can you even look at that play, let alone hear it after?
I'm helping a friend.
There are more things that are important than a friend. I guess I didn't expect you to be so chill about everything.
Who said I was chill?
Nobody had to say it.
And what about you? Should you walk around here like nothing happened?
That is not true.
When people grieve, they cry, they sleep, they get all deep in a depression. You can tell that they just lost somebody. Not you, though. Nah, not Miss Cassie Jonze. Miss Cassie Jonze doesn't cry. She just becomes an asshole to everyone around her. I mean, damn, sometimes you make people wish you were the one who got killed.
Time stops.
Now tell me how you really feel.
That was wrong.
I don't think so.
It was messed up. I didn't mean it.
Oh, yes, you did. Why is everyone so precious about things all of a sudden? You said it, and you meant it, and you know what? I agree with you.
Okay, Jill.
I'm not even trying to make like a thing about it, okay? I'm being 100% honest here. I'm calm, cool, collected about it. I agree with you. You're right. I should have been the one who got killed. It should have been me.
No.
Nash sits on the ground, places her hands over her head.
The world won't stop spinning for you two.
I haven't figured out how the hell to make it stop.
Cassie joins her, taking a seat on the ground. They're right next to each other. Cassie holds out her hand.
Take it.
Nash takes Cassie's hand.
What now?
Close your eyes. And I mean, like, squeeze them shut as tight as you can. Make it hurt. Squeeze my hand, and on the count of 10, let go of my hand and scream as loud as you can, okay? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
They disconnect, and with their eyes still closed, they both let out a loud, pained scream. After a moment, they open their eyes.
Yo,
I know.
it stopped.
Not permanently. But for now, yeah. She
You
was
aren't the
a
bad
good
one.
one. I know that.
You aren't the bad one.
No, I know. But I'm not as good. If I had died, she would have painted a 10-foot tall portrait of me already. It'd be in the Met or some shit, like next to Van Gogh or somebody. She would have written an entire albums of songs, literally sung in tribute to me. Made sure she was at the top of the class that she could make a graduation speech referencing me.
She was that kind of person.
Insufferable.
Sometimes. Yeah.
What was so annoying is that, like, it was so genuine. Everybody pretends to be a good person, but she just was, and that is what made her such like a Rubik's Cube. She had all these colorful sides, and still she was so much of a full person that it wasn't easy to figure her out.
I don't think I ever did. I think I'm sure I tried to every day.
You still haven't told anyone that you two were together, have you?
We were supposed to do it together. That was the deal.
I think the deal ended when everything happened.
Not to me. Think about it like this too. If I said this kind of thing now, people would for sure think I was lying, trying to get attention or something. And I wouldn't be able to blame them either, because that's the kind of bullshit people do. Like that boy, Sheldon.
Fuck Sheldon with a capital F.
He's a shining example.
My sister dies and he makes it about him.
His face is on more newspaper articles than hers.
Got people telling him, sorry for your loss. Who did this man lose?
He's confident about it too.
I cannot tell you. I don't know how you can be that confident and have that hairline.
I hear they're naming a scholarship after him.
I never wanted to choose violence so badly.
People.
Fuck him.
With a capital F.
And a capital UCK.
She was just, like, right. You know? She made sense. If you told her you loved her, she would refuse to say it back.
I mean, in her opinion, you should already know someone loves you. Expecting them to say it every day is a sign of uncertainty or distrust on your part. You just know.
I always knew.
Yeah. Same.
Was she always like that? Even when y'all were little?
Yeah. Did I mention she was insufferable?
Someone like that is so easy to miss. You don't even have to try.
What if you never find your parents?
Haven't let myself think like that.
And if they're bad people?
I don't want to find them to make friends. I just want to look at them. I just want to know they exist, that they're real. Cameron always wanted me to. She told me I was lucky. At least I had parents. 2 sets of them. I might as well keep trying to find the people who made me.
No, the orphan and the foster kid, a match made in heaven. You didn't hear this from me, but she thought you two were game over. She couldn't get enough. It was disgusting.
Thanks for telling me that.
Don't mention it.
If you're the only one who knows, if you're the only one who ever knows, I'm all right with that.
Do you want something of hers?
What do you mean?
I still have everything. Some things are in closet storage units, but I keep a few things close. If you do you want something?
Yes. Please.
Cassie makes her way over to a box sitting in the corner of the room. She pulls out a hoodie and hands it to Nash.
Bring back memories?
Hello.
Hold on to it for as long as you want.
You sure?
Well, I don't think she's gonna ask for it anytime back soon.
That's kind of fucked up.
Ooh, laugh to keep from crying.
Cry to keep from dying. Thank you.
August enters, holding her copy of Romeo and Juliet and a prop sword.
My class took longer than expected. Sorry, was I interrupting something?
This is your space too.
Cassie gets up.
Are you still good to run these lines?
Let's do it.
What is it really?
She's helping me rehearse. We can take it somewhere else.
Call your parents.
What?
I want you to call your parents. August.
I've already talked to them today.
Oh, no, I'm sure they wouldn't have a problem with it.
And give me a reason. You're not making sense.
Well, in that case, let me make it a little more clear for you. I feel like you lied to your parents.
I don't lie to them.
No, but you only tell them some of what's true. I've met your parents. They're good people. They're all right. And that's why I think that they know that you got the role, but they don't know why and they don't know how, which is why I want you to call them so I can ask them myself.
Ask them what?
If they know that the only reason you're going to get your flowers at your feet is because my sister got her face blown off. I can wait. I got nowhere to be.
Cass, I want to make them proud. That's it. It doesn't need to be turned into a thing.
You don't lie to them. You just lie to yourself. You let yourself believe your decisions are acceptable. And every time you take a step on that stage, you are skating on her grave and you smile through it.
I can't do it.
The play?
Call my parents.
Then tell me why.
Because I want to make them proud.
And if you told them what really happened,
They would be disappointed.
is that it?
What?
The sword?
I'm holding on to this for someone else.
When she was shot, she was rehearsing a fight scene and she was holding a fake sword. A fake prop theatrical sword. So is that it? Is that the one that she was holding?
No, I don't think this is the exact one. There's a few of them, but yeah, this is it.
Give it to me.
Is that a good idea?
I don't care if it is or not. I've told you to give it to me.
August hands over the sword. Cassie points it at August.
Don't be stupid.
Cassie presses it against August's chest. Does nothing.
Tell me. Do you feel that?
No,
Is it hurting you?
no,
Is it causing any kind of pain?
no.
Cassie lowers the sword and hands it back to August.
Is it worth dying for?
No.
I don't think so either.
She walks to the other side of the room.
So, should we get started or?
Yeah, we still need a new Mercutio.
I don't think your timing could be any worse. My God.
I'll do it.
What?
I'll be in the show.
That's not what I was trying.
I want to do it. Okay, I'll talk to whoever I gotta talk to. I'll do whatever I gotta do.
Yo, Cass, let's think about this.
You don't act.
I want to do it.
You're talking out of emotion.
Yeah, hell yeah. I am. What are you gonna do about it?
I know who you can talk to.
Good. Then let's go talk to them. Now.
And she's gone. August looks at Nash. Neither knows what to say. Neither knows what to do.
Do I go after her?
Do I look like the cricket who helped Pinocchio to you? Make your own moves, sis.
August exits. Nash holds the hoodie to her nose, smells it, then brings it down to her chest, holds it. Scene 7. The stage is dark. Cassie enters wearing her costume for the school's production. She holds a sword to her side. She stands center, afraid of the words that may come out of her mouth. She looks to the audience, fighting back any sign of the painful heartbreak she has come to be used to. But this time it's different. This time it's public. This time it's being put on display, made into a literal show.
No. I know not why the caged bird sings, or why the death bells ring, or why these things sting like the stem of a blood-red rose that rose from the ground, without a sound, bound to be seen as both beautiful and dangerous, a perfect personification of the situations that this life's fights uses to bite us right on the ass. And now all of a sudden you all want to be Black, but don't want to flash back to whipped backs or slave shacks. You want to fast track to the hot pads and pants that sag and do rags. How sad that to you I am nothing but a brief fad to cash on. Are you feeling me? Y'all all want to be sipping Hennessy in the vicinity of brand new amenities, living like some Kennedys. How do y'all have so much energy to think pretty me needs your pity? Please, when you ain't even seen what it looks like, what it's like on the outskirts of your own city. See, but if I'm too loud, I'm a problem. Too strong, I'm aggressive. Too dramatic, I might get pulled off this stage and arrested. Then never protested, because I ain't never been protected. I miss the section of the lesson where my people being treated like concessions is a blessing. Being lessened to peasants is your favorite method of maintaining your wealth. And I must stand on the stage and use it as a booth for my confession. Now go ahead and try to shut me down. Throw me in a dark room or a tomb. Call me Queen Tut right now. You think I give a fuck right now? You could throw a bullet and I wouldn't duck right now. A lot of y'all thinking, yo, this show kind of sucks right now. I'm not even gonna trying to get a rise out of the muck right now, because, well, hell, my whole world feels stuck right now. I am stressed. Guess I'm the creator of this jagged little mess. And yes, I'm pressed. There's no questioning this. It's only due to the little miss that I miss. Oh, shit. This is it. What does this sword mean to you? What if I open my chest to take your bullets? I'm giving you permission. I'm asking you to do it. Come on, like, isn't this what you want? I am giving you the choice to take me. Break open my ribcage and snatch out my heart. Grab it and squeeze it until you get what you want. I guarantee you I will feel no different. So what are you waiting for? Why is everyone sitting? Get the fuck up. Stand the fuck up and walk up here. Are you all scared all of a sudden? Now you want to be quiet and look uncomfortable. Oh, give me a break. I am holding the sword. I don't have on a vest. I am a threat. So take me down. Take me down. Pull me off of the stage and rip my heart out. I want you to do it. So do it. Do it. Do it. Or not. Choose today to be a coward. I give you the choice. I give you the platform and you refuse to take it. Why? I let you do it and it's not as fun as if I was unsuspecting. You only want me if I'm scared and alone? Punk ass. Ooh, what if I turn my back? Would you like that better? I'll do it. Still no. You'd rather look at me like I'm crazy, and you know what? That's fine. I'll give you the satisfaction. You now have something to talk about. I'm glad I could be good for something. Here's how it really is. Like it or not, the caged bird doesn't sing. It squeals as you reach into its cage and choke it, watching its feathers fall to the floor, shedding what makes it what it is. Its blood feels warm raining down your wrists.
It's blood cracking, gives you the best euphoria you've ever felt, and we're all sick fucks if you think about it. We're all troubled youth. We are the unaccompanied minors trying to catch flights to a place full of people who love us. Why do our planes always have to crash and burn? But I wish that you had done something to me. I wish you had, because if just one of you had, well, that means I might be able to see her again. I might be able to see her again.
Lights down. Scene 8. Later, Jordan's office. Cassie enters still in her costume, tears streaming down her face. Jordan is at his desk. He stands at the sight of her.
She looked just like me.
Are you okay?
That's why it is so hard for me to look in the mirror. When I look at myself, I see her.
You should sit down.
No.
Okay. You don't have to sit down. What do you want to do?
Disappear.
Other than that.
Fuck you. Why is that not enough? Why does there have to be more?
Because what you want isn't an option.
Isn't it?
Not a reasonable one.
I just do not want to be here.
What's the other option? Is the alternative so much better for you? You want to disappear. Fine. Go ahead and disappear. And then what? Huh? Think about it. What if you get what you want and you find out that there is nothing after this? That is the most lonely, most empty abyss.
I am already there.
Okay, but you're not. Because you wanting to disappear, it's about wanting to see your sister again, right? Or the feeling like the world will be balanced if both of you were gone. But what if it's not? What if you still don't see her? What if you disappear for nothing? I don't blame you for not wanting to live your life that you were dealt. Life is hard. Yours is especially rough, but I'm not going to let you die because that is an insult to your strength.
When Jordan stops talking, he realizes that he is as close as he can be to Cassie, merely hovering over her. He backs away, positions himself back on the other side of his desk.
I didn't think you'd still be here. It's late.
I have a lot to do.
Were you at the play?
No. I hope you were, or at least I have a few questions.
Yeah, it's why I haven't been coming around. I took up the part my sister was supposed to play.
That couldn't have been easy.
It wasn't.
And Shakespeare.
Makes no fucking sense.
Still, it was nice of you to even think about doing that.
No, I don't know if it was. I don't know if I wanted to do it to honor her or horrify everyone else. It's not like I went up there and gave a stellar performance.
I'm sure you did fine.
I ran out. I actually don't know if they're still going or if they stopped the whole thing.
Well, no one will remember it in a week.
They will. People remember what's not important and then forget what is.
How has your catch-up game been going?
Fine. I think I'll pass.
Good.
No idea what I'll be doing after this.
No one knows. You'll figure it out.
I guess I got lucky. The one night I needed you to be here, you're here.
The world works in mysterious ways.
I've given you your credits, so now tell me why you're really here this late.
My home doesn't feel like a home.
I know how that feels.
I'm a grown man and I know I'm supposed to be a certain way.
But just say it, dude.
I don't like the dark. And at night, there's nothing but dark.
You can turn on a light.
I meant it in a more metaphorical sense.
Oh.
Like a dark.
Deep.
Yeah.
It's poetic.
Thanks.
You've given me the fancy word reason, so now can you give me the real one?
That's all there is.
I respect you as somewhat my elder, but I need you to stop treating me like I'm an idiot.
I don't think that. It just seems like that you're fishing.
People go fishing where they know that there's fish. You don't see people fishing in the sewer, so spill the fish, sir.
There's a family that lives above me. They're almost fictional in how traditional and happy that they are. Mother, father, son, and daughter. It's like they were cut out of a magazine or transported from an old sitcom. The kids are small, stair step. One can barely talk, and the other one can, but only basic words, And I hear them up there every night playing and watching movies and eating and laughing, and they just sound good. I want that.
Kids.
Joy. Something to come home to.
Something to live for.
Sure. You could say that.
Maybe we should get some goldfish.
I've never had pets as a kid. Did you?
Bro, we were literally orphans. We didn't have pets. We had problems.
They laugh harder. The moment fades.
Do you remember? Do you remember the last thing that your parents said to you before they? That may have been an inappropriate question. I apologize.
Try again. That was the last thing they both said. At least at the time that I can remember, they were teaching us how to ride bikes and we kept falling. And they kept telling us both, try again. That was it. I think I prefer it that way. I think it's better than goodbye. It's just try again. I still don't know how to ride a bike. I haven't gotten one since.
You want to learn?
What?
Do you want to learn how to ride a bike? I have one. I don't drive. I don't like to drive. I ride my bike to work. It's outside. I can teach you right now.
Are you serious?
Yeah. I don't have anything better to do, and you let me know.
You cannot laugh at me if I fall.
Never.
I mean it.
So do I.
Okay.
You want to do it?
I'll try.
Great. Follow me.
He gathers his stuff and exits.
I'll try.
She follows him out. Scene 9. The dorm. August is in her pajamas, drying her hair with a towel. Cassie enters, actually seemingly happy for once. Both of their attitudes change when they lock eyes.
You picked tonight to start smiling?
I owe you an apology.
I don't need it.
I ruined your show and I embarrassed you in front of your family.
Yeah, you did. The guy playing Fry Lawrence had to do double duty.
But you got through the end.
Lucky us.
I am sorry.
Did it feel good?
Did what?
What you did up there?
I guess. In the moment.
And don't apologize.
Your parents.
They took me out to eat after, and I told them everything.
What did they say?
They thought you underreacted up there.
I knew I liked them.
I know you weren't trying to hurt me.
I wasn't.
Come sit next to me.
Cassie does. August puts her head on her shoulder.
What do you think happens to Juliet after the show anyway?
No clue.
You think anything changes?
In Verona? No. Honestly, I bet Juliet meets some other guy, one that's not breaking the law with their respective ages, and lives a happy life. And Romeo's nothing more than a cautionary tale.
Maybe. She got a book deal, tells a whole story from her perspective, makes millions, and moves to Florida.
Good for her.
Truly.
Are we gonna be okay?
Yeah, I think so.
Are you gonna be okay?
Tonight? No. Tomorrow? No. That's what I know.
What are you gonna do?
I'm not going to do any more plays, that's for sure.
Valid.
I don't know what I'm going to do.
Yeah, me neither. Real life isn't college.
I'm thankful for that every day.
Can I tell you something, Cass?
Yeah.
On that night at the state fair, Brock Lamper did more than what I told you.
You want to talk about it?
August shakes her head.
No.
I can find him. I'm in my reckless era. I got a sword now, too.
I prefer a quiet night.
One where no one gets hurt in any way?
Sounds almost too good to be true.
We were on the step team.
Yeah, it was fun.
Cassie holds out her hand. August takes it. Cassie squeezes it a couple times before letting go and standing up. She smiles at August and starts to do the same step routine that August had done before. She points to August.
Your move.
August stands up and continues the routine. Cassie joins in and they're in sync. Once the routine finishes, they stop and stand facing the audience. It is silent. The only thing you can hear is their breathing. They don't move. Their eyes stay on the audience. They hardly blink. Their hands attach, but their eyes don't switch attention. In this honest, uncomfortable quiet, the lights begin to go down. Blackout. End of play.
Thank you so much for joining us today for the Miseducation of the Young Miss Cassie Jonze, written by Cris E. Blak. Congratulations, everyone. Great job. Before we get into our moderated critique session, we do have some brief announcements. We want to tell you about our next play. Coming up next is Bars, or How Hip Hop Saved My Life, written by Jermaine Shames. That'll be Sunday, December 22nd at 1 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, 4 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can check the websites, www.thefsww.org, to find out more details about that. And now I'd like to call up Byron Saunders, who's going to come and tell us more about how you can support the arts. Take it away, Byron.
Oh, thank you so very much, Kimberly. Yes, this is the 50th anniversary of the Frank Silvera Writers Workshop. And for 50 years, they've been the leading theater across the country, for which, even when I was the executive director so many years ago, on my watch, we won the Obie Award for Playwriting Development. This is a process that is so important to the playwright and to the actors themselves. This is where the voices are heard. The playwright gets a chance to hear the voices that have been in their heads for months on and forever, ever and ever. This is a chance where they get a chance to be up there and they come alive. This is giving birth to the new works that become the African American theatrical classics throughout our diaspora. And even more now that the Frank Silvera Writers Workshop is an international organization, we focus on the diaspora from around the globe and talk about these issues that need to be on our stage. And quite frankly, we do have the solutions to all the problems that exist. So what do you want to do? You want to support this organization for another 50 years. We're raising $50,000 to celebrate our 50th anniversary. Isn't it worth it to have an organization where new plays can be incubated safely, where artists can come together, have conversations about the world and its issues, put it right on the stage, and as Garland Sr. would say, if it ain't on the page, it ain't on the stage. But we salute our artists tonight and those who have been with us for 50 years, where every Monday, believe it or not, for 50 years, they used to come up to the Frank Silvera Writers Workshop on 125th Street and see a play being given birth. From Ozzie Davis to Ruby Dee to you name it, they came to be a part of this organization. So now we open our doors. We don't just want a donation, we want a love offering. That's right, give a love offering to the Frank Silvera Writers Workshop. The box is on the screen to make that donation, where it's a fundraiser. You click on the box or go to www.frankfsww.org. That's the Frank Silvera Writers Workshop.org. And you can make that donation. Make it really count. Show us the love. We want to be here for the next 50 years. And I can guarantee you, artists who participate here are the next stars of tomorrow. So now you're getting a chance to see both new plays, new stars, old stars too, but they come here to give birth to new works. Thank you so very much for your support. And I turn it right back over to Kimberly.
Thank you so much, Byron. Byron is no stranger to the Frank Silvera Writers Workshop. Thank you for being here, everyone. I do want to call Garland Thompson Jr. to the stage, the Executive Artistic Director of the Frank Silvera Writers Workshop. And he's going to tell us more about what's going on with the workshop, and then he's going to kick off the moderated critique session. Take it away, Garland.
Hi, everyone. Nice to see everybody here. A big, huge amount of love wherever you are. A big amount of love for what this cast has just done, this cast and this director, and for this incredible new play, I think here. I think we've got a really good one here. Thank you to Cris. We've got some couple of things coming up that we're looking forward to. In January, we are going to be debuting our first ever online classes. We've got, as you can see in the box there, we've got Allison Mills Newman with her master class of acting. Allison Mills Newman is an actor, she's a director, she's a writer, she's a producer, a film director, and a novelist, and an acclaimed novelist. And she also has the distinction of working with Frank Silvera when she was a teenager. So she was personally mentored by our namesake, Frank Silvera, and she came to us through just divine channels, you could say, cosmic channels. And here she is, and she wants to teach this class. So we're going to go ahead and do this. It's going to be a 5-week class online via Zoom, and we're really looking forward to that. If you're interested, you can put your name, your email in the chat, and we'll be happy to let you know about it. We also have coming up as well another class called What Makes a Good Play? Professor Vera J. Katz's What Makes a Good Play. It's about how to analyze a play. For those of you who don't know, Professor Vera J. Katz is a longtime teacher at the Duke Ellington School of the Arts, as well as Howard University in the drama department. She is an incredible person. She's a director herself, but she also has the distinction of being the acting and directing coach for numerous stars, from Chadwick Boseman to Felicia and Debbie Allen to, I mean, the list just goes on and on, to Raji P. Henson. She is someone that they have all benefited from working from, and she's agreed to come and do a 6-week online course on Zoom with us. So we are extremely excited about that. She's also got a book that's going to be coming out next year, a memoir. So it's all kind of coming together very nicely. So we're looking forward to that. Again, if you're interested in knowing more, go ahead and go to our website at thefsww.org, and you can contact us there. You can also drop your email in the chat right here, and we'd be happy to send you some information. So that's what we're really excited, as well, of course, as our readings that are coming up. And in fact, our next reading, we have our next reading. Do we have a slide for that? There it is. Coming up next month, our December reading is going to be Bars or How Hip Hop Saved My Life by Jermaine Shames. We're looking forward to that. That's going to be another fun piece that we're working on. So that's coming up next. So that's that's what we got coming up the next couple of months, as well as other plays. Our season continues on through June, our 24-25 season. So there you go. Now that said, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for us to have our iconic, if you will, one of our legendary moderated critique sessions. And this is something that the Frank Silvera Writers Workshop pioneered way back in the early 70s, before everyone was doing readings. Now everybody does readings, and that's great, because that's exactly what was wanted, what we wanted to have happen, what the folks back then who were doing it wanted to have happen. And of course, that's my father, Garland Thompson Sr., Morgan Freeman, Clayton Riley, and Billie Allen Henderson, the founders, and all the other people who came through the workshop there. The model is this: we do the reading, and then we come back and we do a moderated critique session. Now, these generally last 30 to 40 minutes, sometimes 60 minutes, depending on how the conversation is going. We are looking for, this is different than a talkback, and in the sense that most talkbacks are places where people in the audience can ask the playwright questions, can ask the people on the panel, can ask them questions. Why did you do this? Why did you think about that? Why did you have that character say this? This is a little bit different here, because what we're trying to get here is some honest feedback from people who've never seen or heard this piece before, who also don't know this playwright necessarily. Well, maybe some of you do, but maybe there are folks who don't necessarily know them in the sense, and so that removes that helps to lessen the desire to want to be nice. Now, that said, of course, we're always respectful, so we want respectful comments. This is not about tearing anybody down. This is about building people up, and this is about helping this playwright see where this piece is strong, where it could be stronger, how the choices that he has made with these characters in this story is coming across to an audience of people. So that's what we're here to do. We absolutely love it when people get on the mic. All you have to do is put your hand up, and we will definitely, Kimberly will turn on your microphone, and you'll be able to come up. We love hearing from people. You can also put your questions or any thoughts you may have in the chat. And of course, we are also going to have a poll coming up here that we'd love it if you all kind of filled in. We've got some questions that specifically the playwright Cris E. Blak would like to have answered. So that said, ladies and gentlemen, that's kind of the ground rules. So we want to hear what it is, and Cris especially wants to hear what you all thought about what you just heard. This is where it all begins. As Byron pointed out, Dad was one of his favorite sayings was, "If it ain't on the page, it ain't on the stage." In other words, it all starts with those words on what's on that page, with those words on the page. It all starts there. And that's what we're investigating here. We're looking at those words that this playwright has worked so hard and put in such great time and effort to put down on the page. So that's what we're here to look into. So that said, ladies and gentlemen, do we have any, Kimberly, do we have any comments, anything? Who would like to get us started? Do we have anyone who would like to say anything? And of course, if questions come up in the course of the conversation, it's all organic. So no worries about that.
Thank you, Garland. I just want to, just go over how people can be a part of the conversation. You can put your comments or questions in the chat or the Q&A. You can also use the raise your hand feature at the bottom of the toolbar to go on the mic. And also, please put into the chat where are you watching from or listening from.
Yes.
And thank you for being here. We know it's the holiday week, so we appreciate your presence. And I first want to just congratulate everyone. I thought you did a stellar job. Really, really fantastic job. I know that Nadel had to leave, and I know Saffron had to leave as well, but really, congratulations. Great job.
Yeah, I definitely will have to echo that. It was really a stellar reading. Really, really a stellar reading. Y'all just got going and y'all just went. That train left the station and it did not stop until y'all brought us back and took us round the bend that y'all wanted to take us on. And so y'all were fantastic conductors. Y'all were a fantastic train company, shall we say. So thank you for that. Let's do this. Let's start off, get the conversation going. Let's hear from our actors. Let's start off with getting some thoughts from our actors, because all of you, first of all, you all had to say these words. So you all got to feel how these words felt coming out of your mouths, right? And I also know that in the rehearsal process, you all had some very deep and nuanced conversations about the entire play, about all the various, so many of the various moments in the piece, with director Saffron, who I definitely want to applaud and thank Saffron. She had to run, but we thank her for her deft and her deft hand here. She led very well, and we hope to have her back soon. So, who of our actors, and of course, this includes Hannibal, our narrator, who Hannibal should get a lot of love for being our narrator. Those tones, my friend, not only are you just a great human being, but those tones are incredible. So thank you for that. So who would like to get the ball rolling here?
I can do it.
All right, excellent, Jehiny.
Hi, I'm Jehiny. So to start off with, Cris is great, and I hope everyone who's here listening looks into his other plays as well, because they all have this sense of reality in them. I mean, there are really good plays out there, but I think the generation now, that sense of reality and that sense of connection kind of disappears a little bit, or some people can't translate it on paper as good as they think they might. And I always tell Cris that he Christifies things because of that specific thing. And I think this reading plus play pretty much represents that a lot with his work. And so I like hearing it again until the end. I kind of got a little emotional. I was like I've read it and I've like heard it a couple times, but I was just like, wow, like hearing all the words kind of just come off the page and kind of making you feel things. That's like what I think theater really is meant for. And I think with my character, Nash, her history and her story, a lot of people, I mean, she's adopted, right? And she has this wonderful life with her adoptive parents. But I think what Cris from my character did was kind of bring to light the fact that it doesn't matter that you have a really great support system and a really great family. If your foundation, aka Nash's parents, weren't there growing up or weren't there, there's still that absence of like, well, where do I come from? Who am I really? And I think in the aspect of people who are adopted, they do still have those questions and they do still wonder those things about themselves. And I think with Nash, Cris definitely brought into light that those things are very valid. And a lot of people are going to be like, but you have everything. You're great. You're fine. You're healthy. You have good parents. Like, what is it? But it's that absence of knowing your foundation and knowing who you are. And it's things like that that kind of Cris knows how to do very well, where it's like, it's the truth. It's the truth. It's not pretty and it's sometimes maybe not reasonable to some people, but it's the truth. And I think as all people who are in theater and film, I think telling the truth under these circumstances is what you're meant to do as an artist. So those are my inputs. And also everyone else who read was really, really good. I was like, wow. I was like, oh, okay. I got to bring my A game. But it's I like this play a lot. And there's a lot of plays I like from Cris, but lately his work has been just kind of like going from like A+ to A++, because of that truth and the fact that I feel like our reality is kind of getting distorted a little bit. It brings us back to why we love theater and the stories that are being told and that we may not be comfortable with hearing or talking about on a daily basis. And I think these type of plays and the way Cris writes it, the words he uses, really gives us that safe place to be like, oh, this is actually very real and this is sad, but it needs to be told. And if you're uncomfortable with it, well, you got to sit in it for a little bit because you still need to hear it anyways. But that's my input. Thanks.
Thank you, Jehiny. That's wow. That's fantastic. You know, you're absolutely right. And so much of what you said is so spot on. Thank you for that. Absolutely, these are things that people who have been abandoned, people who have been adopted, people who've lost their parents at early ages or who don't know. This is something they deal with lifelong. even when things are going great. Absolutely. And that's and that's a truth, and it can be very, one thing I felt that was portrayed really well, Jehiny, and your character got to explore this, was how hard it was how hard it was for someone to explain that to someone else in a way that they could really understand, they could really get. It was really difficult, and it's true, and it's truth, but these are things that need to be talked about. Truth and honesty, Cris, came through this. There were two themes: truth and honesty, huge in this. The seeking of the truth, and these are people, and it's really interesting to see because clearly we have a generation here, right? We have a generation here. Folks are kind of technically just getting started out in their adult lives, right? They're in college, so we're at the beginnings where so many of us, who are older, were at one time, right? And may even have lost sight of. So this is really, and in this time too, because you said it in modern day, right? So and so the voices are coming through very clear, very strong. Thank you, Jehiny. Thank you. I want to hear more from you in a bit. Who else would like to jump in? We've got Destiny, we've got Prentice. Nadel had to go. Destiny, you want to go?
So something that I really enjoy about reading Chris's plays, like from the plays that I've seen, he has a habit of like creating a theme and then making so many different variations of this theme be embodied by so many different characters. And then like for this play specifically, like I feel like everyone is grieving so differently, but their different variations of grief were always at war with each other. And like they didn't really understand how one person was grieving this way or that way. More specifically like Cassie and how everyone else was grieving in comparison to hers. In terms of my character, I feel like August was really like kind of avoidant or just really like determined to become this to just have that lead role for herself, because it's like it's something about the theater department there that just doesn't have those opportunities. So for her, it's like a do or die moment, especially after what just happened with Cassie's sister. So I thought it was really interesting how Saffron really had us interrogate what were the stakes between the things we wanted and how we were dealing with this grief and how we were approaching each other because of it. And just really trying to understand how our relationships might have been before Cassie's sister died and now that she's gone, and how that might have changed and caused a rift between all of us.
Great.
Yeah, absolutely. Those are really important questions, and I'm so glad you brought up grief, because that's another theme that ran through this. And all of these characters were in some way dealing with some kind of grief, from Cassie's direct grief of the murder of her twin sister, to Jordan's grief at his marriage. He still is dealing with the grief of that and trying to pick up the pieces, right? I mean, all of them. August, as you just explained, right? And certainly Nash, who's lost a friend, who's lost a lover, right? And who is also deep in grief. This is running through. They're all dealing with this. So this is really interesting. Cris, you've got a really interesting exploration of, I want to say, just reality as it is today, as it is being faced by this generation of people as embodied in these particular characters. It's because there's a lot of questioning. We see that as we're questioning old mores, old ideas, old institutions, and all that. And so to hear these conversations, and so frank and so candid, um I was making, there were so many lines that I had to write down, just because I'm just like, these are solid. These are really, really solid. That's one of the things I want to say, is what I heard today, it's very solid work, very solid work. Now, of course, can it grow? Can you do more? Can you play with it? It's, of course, absolutely. And that's what we're here to sort of help you explore, right? So, but really, really, really kudos to you. Hannibal. Hannibal and Prentice. Gentlemen, who can we hear from?
I'll let Prentice go first because I was just here for the show.
Hello.
Hey, Prentice.
I mean, from the perspective of Jordan, like, I love the way that he was written, as far as, like, I think that the struggle of being just a Black man in the professional world, and you have to carrying yourself a certain way, is kind of very stressful, in a sense. I've recently got promoted at my job, so kind of like this kind of like feels a little bit of way to me of, like, I don't know, politics of everything is just so weird. And then knowing that I'm a Black man, I have to carry myself a certain way, and I can't do certain things that other people can do. It's all very frustrating. What really when he goes about do you think about people that you are the way that people expect you to be, around that monologue, that really hit for me, because I feel that way, like, in general. I see people out in the streets acting like crazy wild animals all the time, and I know how we are looked down upon. I hate how we are looked down upon, as Black men, Black people in general. And yeah, it just it put a voice to what I was feeling. That wasn't ever anything that I was able to express or put to words, but everything that Jordan kind of said out of his mouth, I really fully resonated with, from that section. And then just the section of well, like, life is hard, and it is easier in times and such to I don't know, sugarcoat things, or to just go along with the motion or the plan, or that's not the right word, but you guys know what I mean. All right, and yeah, all right, cool, yeah. I'm losing train of thought.
That's Prentice. Thank you. That's great. Absolutely. See, so Cris, this is some really good feedback here, right here, that you're getting. That the fact that these words are resonating in Prentice's body like this, you know what I mean? To me, that's one of the ways you can know when you've got something solid and that you're cooking with gas. So that's really important to hear. Thank you for sharing that, Prentice. It was
I got
your
one more
portrayal.
thing.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
I got one more thing.
Go for it.
I just love the poetry. We're loving the poetry. Please do more of that in your work.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that's how you started out writing, and it was just very powerful to me. Just the poetry in it, and then going into the I don't know. Cris has a way of words. He knows this, and it's just very easy to connect to, and it flows so nicely that it makes it, as an actor, it does make it easier to remember these words because of how nicely they flow off of the tongue. And so, all right, yeah.
That's beautiful. No, thank you, Prentice. Again, and that came through clear with your reading, how easy that was, and it was a tough, what you were dealing with what your character was dealing with. There was a lot going on there, and and I love, Jordan is working extra hard, doing double time, triple time, trying to keep that line, not crossing any lines, not going cross any boundaries, trying to do the right thing, and also deal with everything you just said, the politics of the job, the dealing with being just a Black man in America still in 2024, right? It's, in some ways it can feel like we haven't progressed at all from 1824, in some ways, right? And that's it's like mind-boggling. That's stuff that just messes your brain up, because it's like the brain goes, I can't compute. Why is this like this, right? So anyway, your reading I thought was really wonderful, Prentice. Thank you. How you handled it. You really brought so much to it. Your voice it was just really great to see you, and hear you working. So thank you. I'm
I
gonna
just
go
want to
ahead.
hop
Oh
in here
yes,
and
go
just
ahead.
remind people, if you want to be a part of the conversation, you can put your comment or your question into the chat or the Q&A. You can also use the raise your hand function to go on the mic. And let's see, we do have a comment from someone
Oh, good.
that's watching from KY, I think that's Kentucky. Love the
Kentucky.
cast. Great job. Chris, you are a metaphorical beast.
Hey, that's Nita S. Nita, thank you very
Yes.
much. I know we've got at least one playwright in the room. I know,
Oh, I
I'm
think Byron had something
and
too.
Byron
Yeah.
has something to say. So I'd love to hear from Bertram, Jason, Mark, and Rosetta. I know I've got at least two other playwrights in the room here. So we'd love to hear from you guys. But Byron,
Yes.
please, by all means, what do you
My
got?
my question, actually for Chris, the use of Mercutio as a metaphorical character. If you know Romeo and Juliet, for those who know, that character is not always in the present. Okay, if you read through Romeo and Juliet, you're like, well, where is Mercutio? What is going on? Because he goes off on tangents. And similarly, with the character of the twin sister, playing herself and not herself. So I'm not sure if folks really captured that. However, and the fact that it's a all girls production, all women's production. Am I getting that right? It's all women's production of Romeo and Juliet, or the casting of just Mercutio as a woman was critical to the movement of the story, because knowing his character with respect to Romeo and Juliet, that middle ground where everybody is trying to make sure Mercutio doesn't go off, because if he goes off, Romeo and Juliet goes off in different directions. So I
Mhm.
compliment you on that, Chris, because I thought that use of that was very clever. The dialogue is snappy, very snappy dialogue. They work with each other. I'm not so sure I get the fullness of a relationship between the roommates, because there was a schism there somewhere in which I'm still trying to figure out what was the break. What was the
Mhm.
psychological break between the two that made them distant? And then, of course, we see them working hard to get back together, which we see at the end. But once again, your development, your characters, and the depth of their backstory, uh, as well as bringing in Romeo and Juliet. That's a nice little touch to you.
Excellent. Now, just to be clear, I want to be clear. We're talking about before Cassie finds out
Yes,
that
yes,
August is going to be the play, right? Before she
yes,
finds the
yes.
script in her bag, right? So yeah, what was that? So yeah, there's a little, maybe I think perhaps that's a good point. There's a little area for some development right there, and it doesn't have
Just a
to.
bit, right?
Just a
Not a
bit. It doesn't
lot,
have to. I was
just a
just about
bit.
to say it doesn't have to be a lot,
Oh,
right?
oh.
Just a little bit. So a little extra spice there, maybe, or a little extra flavoring there. I think that's a very good point. That's great.
But
Um, that's
Garland,
strong.
I wanted to
Yes.
just wanted to hop in here. I'm going to we
Hmm.
appreciate all the comments. Chris
Hmm.
does have some specific questions that he'd love to have answered, so I'm
Okay.
going to launch the poll, but keep going, okay?
Okay. All right. Great. We're going to launch the poll there, so everybody will see that. So if you all can give us your feedback that way, that would be really appreciative. We've got some questions here. I'll just run through the questions real quick. Do you have empathy/sympathy for Cassie? Important question. Does her attitude towards others drive you away from her, or do you understand why she feels the way she does? Another great question. Which characters did you find yourself most drawn or connected to, and why? And this show is all about people wanting to be seen and heard in a valuable way. What part, if any, made you feel personally seen? Right? Great questions. Thank you, Chris. We'll see what the poll reveals here. Um, uh, Definitely, I agree. I would have to say, Byron, thank you for the comment about the dialogue too. I thought the dialogue absolutely was excellent. Like I was saying earlier, there were so many lines that I'm like, oh man, I gotta write this down. I gotta, because there, I mean, just and just the funny stuff. Like your definition of comedy is concerning. Yeah, I mean, it's like it's to me stuff like that is hilarious. Brocky Balboa. I mean, I mean, it was great to see you have fun with I really felt like as a writer you were having fun with the dialogue. You weren't restraining yourself, but you also weren't like just going hog wild in every kind of willy-nilly weird direct. I mean, you had a grounding to it. And also I wanted to say that it felt like at one point I felt like Shakespeare had been quite an inspiration for you, not just as a device of using, Romeo and Juliet. I mean, I don't know, but it felt like there was some kind of kindred spirit thing going on there in terms of the conversations. I think it was really like the conversation. The one that made me think most about that was Jordan and Cassie's conversation, right? That big one, that they have there. And it just felt like, wow, I have not heard conversations like this on stage in a while. Everybody's so worried about time, time, time. We got to get to stuff fast, 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 punchy, 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 short, quick, boom, bing, bang, boom. You know what I mean? Let's get to it, right? But to have a conversation that didn't feel belabored, also. See, that's a real trick, also, is writing a good for sick conversation that doesn't, after a while, the listener just is like, oh my God, they're just going on and on and on. When are they going to get to the point or whatever, right? But I didn't feel like that was there. Now, of course, can you still do shaping and stuff like that? Absolutely. But that was really solid. I also wanted to point out, and anybody please jump in and any comments about this. I also wanted to point out Cassie's solo. I believe that was her audition piece, right? Was that her audition piece, or was that the actual? That was one thing I was a little unclear on, as to whether that was her audition piece or whether that was actually in the show, that we'd actually jumped to the show. So, but that said, echoing what Prentice said, the poetry, wow, wow, it was. I personally have been involved in the poetry world and spoken word world for 30 years now, right? Starting in LA in the early 90s and on up to the present. So I've had the good fortune of hearing a lot of poets, a lot of poetry, a lot of spoken word. And this was top notch. Yeah, this was absolutely top notch. And Nadel gave it a beautiful reading as well. So, but I felt like Nadel was able to give it a beautiful reading because what was on the page was working, right? and that's and that's the ultimate goal here, because if it's working, if what's on the page is working, then everything else, it's all just going to be this incredible thing that will bloom from all of that, right? So um so I felt like uh those are some really good things you got going on. You got a lot of good things going on here, Chris. And one other thing I'll say real quickly, everybody. um if you know anything about Frank Silvera had a theater company. He was an actor. He was a movie star. He hung out with celebrities. I mean, the biggest names of the business at the time and what have you. But one of his biggest things that he loved and put so much of his time and heart and soul and money and effort into was his company, the Theater of Being. And it was basically a place that, like the name said, it was a place where Black folks, Black and brown folks, could come to be, to tell stories of just being, not being a chauffeur or a maid or a ruffian, a roughneck, a gangster, or whatever, but just to be. What's it like to be a brown or a Black person, you know? And I was thinking this piece, Frank, if he were around today, I think Frank would really love this piece. I really do. I really do, because this was exactly it. Thank you for not putting any stereotypes in here. There were no stereotypical characters, no stereotypes. It was just honest people, real people dealing with real things and talking about it with each other in some real and sometimes uncomfortable ways. Great modeling of great behavior, and I feel like that's what theater that's one of the things theater can do for us, is to model behavior. And that's your question about you being what part, if any, made you feel personally seen. I think that's really great, because that making that connection there, so being able to see, like, oh, there's a way that I might be able to deal with what I'm feeling, or with what I'm dealing, or at least it gives me a place to start thinking about it, when prior to this I have had no clue. So thank you for that. Thank you for
Thank
that.
you. Thank you, everyone, for staying here for the Miseducation of the Young Miss Cassie Jonze moderated critique session. It's a great conversation. I see people are submitting their poll responses, so please take a couple more minutes to get that done. And I see that Hannibal wanted to say something. Go ahead, Hannibal.
Hannibal.
All right, sure, yeah. As a narrator, being invited to kind of look down on the field as the game is going on is a very different perspective for me. But as noted by many people, the language was one of my strongest things that I enjoyed. The section of the because I tried to quote it, but I haven't. Yeah, the section where she says, "I missed the section of the lesson where my people being treated like concessions is a blessing." The way he uses alliteration and assonance in those lines is very clear to me. But also and I luckily I have the script, so I can just bounce back and forth to it. Where he said that I wasted no time taking my wife's heart and turning it into a broken plate of glass shards, dishwashed by her tears. I almost just threw my iPad the first time I saw it. I was like, sir, how dare you? Seriously. So the writing is incredibly strong and incredibly, as being able to take it all in was very enjoyable for me. But then you come to the performances, and I see, the trepidation that Prentice brought to Jordan, and the kind of the brashness that Jehiny brought to Nash, and I mean, honestly, I really related to August more than any other character. August was the character like I totally saw myself in. But just watching these performances bring all this to life in such innovative and nuanced ways that I wasn't even thinking of was really enjoyable for me as well. So yeah, this is the production as a whole was incredibly strong in its all, as you say, in its foundation. So everything from there was just elevation from that Saffron was able to bring forth in her very insightful means of rehearsing with people. It was really an enjoyable process. I was like, this is one of my favorite weeks of theater ever. I love this.
That's excellent. Now,
Great.
Chris, we're not just saying these things to be nice, okay? And I'm not just saying what I've said to
I'm
be
never
nice.
nice. No.
Okay, right? So, I mean, these are, and I think you as a poet, a playwright, and an actor, because for those of you who don't know, we first got to know Chris as an actor in one of our readings about a year or so ago. You deal, and clearly with this piece, you are one who is curious and who wants to engage with and wants to know, and to someone whom truth is a very important thing, right? So you deal with it all the time. You're always looking at it. I'm sure you probably had some very interesting conversations, maybe uncomfortable conversations with yourself about things and what have you. But so I say that to say that the sound of truth. For me, truth has a specific ring of sound to it. And if you've ever heard it and you're attuned to it, you'll never forget it. And you can use that as your guidepost to tell you, when the truth is there and when it's not. So, nothing that's been said here falls into that realm of not truthful. Right. So that's why I say we're not saying these things just to be nice. Okay. Can you go places with this still? Can you shape it still? Can you still, are there still some little tweaks and little touches and little bits of play and stuff that you can pull out or add here, or put the, what? Absolutely, absolutely. But I personally am really thrilled because it's in a really strong place right now, I think, as it stands, and I hope others agree with me on this one. Um, so I'm happy to be able to say great things and say these things and let you hear this good positive, this good positive reinforcement, because it's important. It's also important for writers to get some honest feedback. So thank you to everybody for your honest feedback. And and I know Byron's got a sharp eye and a sharp ear, so I know he's always gonna say something good. So how are we doing on our poll? Do we have how long are we doing letting our poll go still? We've got
I'll give people one more minute or so. We do have some responses. I want to get to that. And also, I just
okay.
want to remind other attendees, if you want to hop on the mic or put a comment or question in the Q&A or the chat, please go ahead and do it. We love to hear from everybody. And I know Cris really appreciates the feedback. And Cris, I just want to say I'm really, really proud of you because we worked together, it was more than a year ago in a different capacity, and you went and submitted your work, and we encourage people, if you have plays, submit your play, and you got it done. So congratulations, and I'm excited to see what happens next for this piece.
Yeah, it's of course our dream always to get movement, as Dad said, and your dad saying a clip. That's the whole purpose of looking at this. You know what I mean? Is to get movement, even if it's just movement within the writer's own brain and an own work to get things moving. So that's what we really hope. And of course, our dream and my dream and fantasy is always to see a full production of this somewhere, and actually not just one, but many of them. So that's but it all, as Byron said earlier, it all starts right here with the words on those pages. I want to call out, actually, since y'all are going to make me be the teacher here. Apparently I got to be the adjunct professor here, which is fine. I can do that. I'm happy to do that. I'm going to call out a couple of our people. We got Jason Smith. I really want to hear Jason, turn your mic on and say something to us, would you please? Say something. I've also got Rosetta James in the house, so yeah, I know y'all got something to say. So, is there something good? Is there something that Cris needs to hear? Is there something we're not hitting on? Are we being too nice? Are we, what?
Can you
Hey,
hear me?
Jason.
Hello, can
Yeah,
you
go
hear me?
ahead,
Yeah,
Jason.
there
Oh
we
yeah,
go. Hey,
no, you guys
Jason.
are doing good. You guys are doing good, and the play was good, and keep writing. I'm doing the same thing. That's why I'm watching you guys. So yeah, I have another play that I'm working on that I wish to submit as well. So yeah, keep up the good work, sir.
Excellent.
Thank
Stay
you so
focused.
Excellent.
much.
Keep
Thank you,
going.
Jason.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you. We look forward to getting that your submission of your next play. Jason Smith, JT Smith, is one of the playwrights who read in the International Black Theater Festival's Garland Thompson Senior Readers Theater New Works this summer. So we're happy to see him here. And Rosetta, can I call out Rosetta? Can you come on the mic and say something, even if it's just to say hello, just so I can say hello to you, Rosetta.
Hello.
Rosetta, who's also an accomplished artist and playwright herself.
Hello. Can you hear me? I'm
Yes.
okay, good. I want to say, Cris E. Blak, this is the first time I'm meeting you. I am so impressed. I don't know what to do or say. You are wonderful. And I'm looking at your picture. You're so young and so brilliant. So I thank you for this play. That's all I have to say.
Excellent.
Thank you
Thank
so
you. Thank you,
much.
Rosetta. Thank you, Rosetta. And congratulations on all the great work you've been doing the last couple of years. You really got a lot of stuff going on. Look her up. She's online. Thank you, Rosetta. And Bertram, can we hear from Bertram? Bertram Sanders? Can you jump on the mic, and would you like to say something? And if not, it's okay, but we would love to hear your voice for a moment and say hello. I'm not sure how you found us. If
There,
you're,
there you go. Go
Hello,
ahead,
hey,
Bert.
there he is. Hello.
how are you?
Good, thanks, Bertram. How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing
So
pretty good.
what's happening? What's happening? What's you got anything we can share? You can share with Cris your thoughts or feelings about what you heard today and saw?
I want to say that I appreciate like you guys doing stuff like this, like, cause I'm young, I'm a young guy, and I feel like this is really inspirational. Just like hearing you guys talk about things like this. That's just really what I wanted to say.
Excellent.
Great. Thank
Excellent.
you.
Thank you, Bertram. Thank you for taking the time to be with us today too. And it is really, it's wonderful, to have you, especially, being a young person yourself and having you here because, one of the things we're always, people in theater sometimes forget about, but other people like get gray hairs and can't sleep at night worrying about is that next generation of folks, that next generation of writers, of actors, of creators, of theater practitioners who's going to come forward and keep moving, keep on moving the art form forward and bringing us new stories and making themselves heard, making their voices heard. So it's great to have you here. Thank you, Bertram, for coming out, and thank you for your comments. We really appreciate it. We're going to keep working hard to be truthful and honest and with luck that will always be inspiring to folks. So thank you. And thank you, Rosetta, for your comments, and thank you, Jason. All right, I
Now
think we
we,
can do the
yeah,
poll now. Can we
yeah,
do
I
the
was going
poll?
to get to that. Thank you, everyone.
Okay.
Thank you, everyone, for being here. The first question was, do you have empathy or sympathy for Cassie? And all the respondents said yes. Question number 2, does her attitude towards others drive you away from her, or do you understand why she feels the way she does? And let's see, 2 people wrote, I understand why she feels the way she does. I definitely understand her character. She had every reason to be as mixed up as she might have appeared. Number 3, what character did you find yourself most drawn to or connected to, and why? I was drawn to the character that got the role of Juliet, her longing to validate her talent for once and her wanting to show her family that her choice as a major was not a waste of money. And let's see, she says, I forgot the name of the Hispanic girl adopted by the white family. Was very powerful. Make me think about everything that she had to say. And then the last question, this show is all about people wanting to be seen and heard in a valuable way. What part, if any, made you feel personally seen? And someone wrote, I felt this story needed to be told. So many people are only seen in death when they deserve to be seen, heard, and understood in life. Thank you so much, everyone, for the feedback. Chris really put those questions out there to get that. So we really appreciate that.
Absolutely. This has been beautiful. Thank you. This has been a really great conversation. I think we're probably going to be winding down here. Is there any other comments, any last comments from anybody here that you'd like to throw out there and let us know? Nita, also, if you'd like to jump on the mic real quick, we would love to hear your voice as well. We love hearing people's voices. It really makes our day to hear people's voices in these. So no pressure, Nita, but if you'd like to come on before we wrap up, we would love to hear your voice. Oh, I see. Is she coming on? I saw something change in the status of her microphone there.
I'm not sure. I gave her permission if she wants to hop on.
Okay. Oh yeah, there we go. Yeah, Nita.
Hello.
Hello. How you doing?
I'm doing just fine. How are you?
Good, thank you. Good, thank you. Thanks for joining us today. What have you got for us?
I just really, really enjoyed the cast, the characters. The writing was brilliant. I'm a big fan of Cris E. Blak. And I'm
All
a
right.
big fan of everybody. Destiny, Prentice, everybody did an outstanding job.
Wonderful, wonderful. Glad to hear you say that. How did you hear about us? Just so we know, how did you hear about this reading? Was it through Chris or was Chris, is this your doing?
It's my mother. She's
That's okay.
Moms
Moms are
know
welcome too.
best.
Moms know.
Yeah.
We want moms. We want to hear what
Mom is
it's a
your
good
number
thing
one
to have.
fan.
Yeah.
It's a good thing to hear what mom has to say. Absolutely. Thank you, Nita.
And this
Thank
was
you.
actually my first time seeing it.
Ooh,
Oh, really? So you have, oh, really?
nice.
Okay. So your first time
Okay.
seeing it and hearing it. Wow.
Yes.
And so it had, I mean, him being your son aside and your desire to keep, because you love him so much, right? Honestly, your first time hearing this, like if you didn't know he wrote it, what might you say or think?
I would, with him not being my son, I'm his biggest fan, but I'm also probably the critic as well.
Okay.
If I did not know the playwright, I would still think she did an excellent job. I like the gentleman that pointed out the character in Romeo and Juliet, and those that may not be familiar with that character, I was. And I really viewed it as a genius move. I mean, I got it. I really did. I got a lot of it.
Excellent.
And I just think there are so many ways to deliver a message, and through theater, music, there are so many messages that need to be delivered and need to be heard and seen. And if this is the avenue for a lot of people to get it, I think it's the way to go. I'm just taken aback by what I saw and heard today. I just really enjoyed it. I just thought it was great. I really, really did.
That's beautiful.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Nita. Thank you, Nita. And see, Chris, so she wasn't just saying all that just because she's your mom. So, okay. So that's why I wanted to ask that question to make sure, right? Because no, it is. It is. And that's why I said, and she picked up on Nita, you picked up on the Shakespearean, part of the characters. That's why I said it really, at a certain point, especially starting kind of with that conversation that I mentioned, I really sort of like we're walking hand in hand here. You know what I mean? We're walking down the same road, a really wonderful road. So thank you. Thank you very much. Byron, want to say any final things before we wrap it up here?
Absolutely, yes. I want to just congratulate Chris and the cast. Job well done. And don't forget, folks, the 50th anniversary is about celebrating love. It's about celebrating freedom. This is what this 50th anniversary for the Frank Silvera Writers Workshop. Be a love offering in this platform. Keep sharing those dollars. Help us get to the 51st and 50 more years. As your dollars will help us build and grow. We are an organization that is rebranded itself. We've got a business plan that says the next 50 years are going to be fantastic. And with you as our supporters and stakeholders, we appreciate your giving fully. Remember, it's tax deductible, so don't miss out on that opportunity toward the end of the year. You want that tax donation, give to the Frank Silvera Writers Workshop, www.fsww.org. You can make a difference. Thank you so very much.
Thank you,
Thank
Byron. That's right.
you.
You could drop $500
There
and
you go.
you could drop $500 and you could get the receipt, get the donation credit, get the tax refund, and help out a nonprofit and help the work out in the same process. And
Or
that could
you
be
could
any.
donate $10,000 and do the
Okay.
same thing.
Of
Absolutely.
course.
Sanity
Gotta think
clause is
big.
real.
Of course. Chris, last word to
Any
you,
thoughts,
Chris.
Chris?
Prentice, unless Prentice has something else or Hannibal they want to chime in with at the last minute here. Anything from either of you gentlemen? Hannibal's shaking his head no. Prentice, any last words you want to add here? No, you're good. You're good. Thank you, gentlemen, both for your great work today. Really, really wonderful, solid work, both of you. And Prentice, don't stop acting. Whatever you do, don't stop acting. Keep going. Do not stop. Whatever you do, don't stop. This is clearly something you're really good at. So keep
Thank you.
going. Okay. Absolutely. And we're going to keep your name on file because we may be calling you to join us to do some other readings in the future. Okay. So, and of course, Hannibal knows already that we do that here. So, because we've gotten him a few times, we're going to get him back again too. Real quick, Chris, final words. Anything you want to, what would you like to say about anything, the process, the reading, the whatever? What are you feeling right now?
Yeah, I just want to say, I mean, obviously, thank you. Thank you to you, Garland. Thank you, Kimberly, for the opportunity to do this and to make this space today. To this cast, obviously, who, I mean, everyone in this cast means something to me. Everyone in this cast I've worked with in some capacity before on one of my shows. So any chance I get to bring them in and show other people what they can do is a chance I take because they're the ones who make the show sound good. They're the ones who make people, connect, because they're the three-dimensional aspect of it. They're the, I lay the blueprint, they build the house, and they do it so well, especially these folks. So being able to share them is really the biggest honor, and to bring different pieces of them together, and that just is what means the most to me. Any actor saying my lines means the most to me, but when those actors get to be some of my closest friends and people in my life, this makes it all that much better. And they're really talented. And yeah, just thank you all so much for the feedback, and the conversation. And I'm just full of gratitude on this Sunday. Yeah. And then I'm going to get on a plane in the morning and go see my mom.
Good idea.
Well, that's great. That's great.
Good
Great
idea.
conversation. Great conversation at Thanksgiving, right?
Yes.
I know y'all gonna be talking about it at the
That's
at the
right.
table. So this is great. This is really wonderful. Cris, thank you. Thank you again. We really appreciate your being here and your submitting the work. Of course, when you do a rewrite, whenever you do a rewrite, you can get another reading. So all you got to do is just come back to us, and we'll do this again, and we'll let you hear it again. And it's so awesome you did. So folks know, Cris basically cast this. He said, can I go ahead and cast this? And we said, sure. And he, it's awesome. You clearly
Absolutely.
hang out with super talented people. So so that's really great. And your spirit in wanting to show them off and give them opportunities and chances is exactly the exactly what we're about here at the Frank Silvera Writers Workshop. It's about giving opportunities to people like these actors, people like yourself as a writer, as an actor, to shine, to show us what you've got, to work it out, to bring it, and let's hear it. And as Dad said, as you heard Dad said, to get some movement on it. Somehow, some way, even if it's just talking to the universe, sending it out into the universe and letting the ripples come back and take the leaf or the frond, wherever, the palm frond, wherever it's going to go. And your architect metaphor is spot on. That's what the playwright is. The playwright is the architect. The actors are the people who build the house, who put the walls up, who put that skeleton, that frame up. They're the ones who swing the hammers, saw the saws, and all of that. And it's very important. And it's to hear that coming from a writer, to know that is such a fantastic place to know that you're in, and to know for you that I'm so excited for you to be in that place. So that's really wonderful. Thank you again. And of course, any other plays you got, send them our way. Let's talk. Okay. And we'll always be here for you. You're a lifelong member of the community here at the Frank Silvera Writers Workshop. Of course, you have been since over a year ago. So, but reinforcing that, right? And so thank you to everybody.
Chris, when
Go
you
ahead.
win your Oscar, don't forget to mention us. Thank you.
Yeah, all I ask for is one line in your memoir. That's all, in your biography. Just one line in the memoir. If you just give us, and make sure we're in the playbill wherever it gets produced. That's all we ask. Right?
Awesome.
Right? Yeah.
What a-
So we've had a great time. I also want to say thank you to Kimberly Gunn, our producer, and our Zoom tech. She's the one who picked and designed all the visuals that you saw, and handled all the stuff. There she is. Fantastic work, Kimberly, as always. She put together the movie in the beginning as well, and it just really, really great work. So thank you. We're very excited and very grateful to have Kimberly here. So thank you very much for that. And thank you, Byron, of course, for being on our side. Byron's he's our consultant and our former executive director of the workshop. So thank you so much for all of your support and all of your work with us. And we're going to continue working. And we're actually going to be, we're also going to be plugging in a piece that he's brought to us about the Black suffragette movement. That's a story. There's a story you don't hear much about too often, right? Black, you hear about suffragettes, suffs, right? That's huge, right? But Black suffragettes. Oh, wait a minute. Hold, stop the presses. I want to hear about this. So we're going to be bringing that to you this season before the season ends. So we're looking forward to that too.
Yes.
And thank you, and congratulations on the Emmy nomination. Texas Emmys, Lone Star Emmys. One of his productions got nominated for one. They didn't win, but they got nominated, and that's alone is a great honor.
That's right. So we're working on a project called Queen Opal's Walk for Freedom. Now, this was a documentary about the woman who's 98 years old now, 90 years old. She walked from Fort Worth, Texas to Washington, D.C. to get the legislation for the Juneteenth celebration.
Juneteenth was, yeah, that's right.
98 years
That's right.
old. She
Yeah.
did this for us, and we've been commissioned to write her life story as a musical.
Wow.
Dr. Janice
Exciting.
Lydell is the co-writer.
Exciting. This is
Yes,
very
it's
exciting. So we're going to
really
be hearing
exciting.
more about that, and we're going to be
Yes.
doing our part to help Byron and Dr. Liddell as much as we possibly can.
Thank
So
you.
that said,
Great.
ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to let y'all
Bye-bye.
go. Kimberly is going to take us out. Thank you so much. You all are
Yes.
awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you for being here with us, and thank you for helping keep the art alive. Thank you for help keeping theater
Yeah.
alive, and thank you for your help in supporting playwrights. That's where it starts. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe somewhere in the Bible it says it all started with the word, right? So, right, I mean, that's, and it literally in theater as in the Bible, it all starts with the word.
Let
Right?
there be light.
Yes.
Awesome.
And let there, and yes,
Let
and
there
that's
be
the other one.
light.
That's the
Let there be
second one in
light.
theater. Let there be light. Right. So
Awesome.
anyway, thank you very much.
Great.
Kimberly, take us home.
Bye-bye.
Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us today for the Miseducation of the Young Miss Cassie Jonze. You can find out more about our next reading coming up November 22nd, same time. Bars or How Hip Hop Saved My Life. You can go to our website.
December
I'm
22nd.
sorry, December 22nd. You can find out more about next readings at our websites. And I also want to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving holiday. We really appreciate you being here. We know everyone's busy. And have a great night, everyone.